Hello, I'm Scott Ingram from Omega Baptist Church in White Pine, Tennessee, and I'm honored again to have Dr. James Linzey with me. He is the chief editor of the MEV, the Modern English Version. Originally came out in 2014. Now it is being updated in 2024. And I want to talk with him just a little bit about why, with the NKJV and the MEV being the most notable modern translations of the Textus Receptus, besides the KJV itself, of course. What differences do you see between the MEV and the NKJV?
Well, first of all, Pastor, I want to say thank you for having me on your program.
Glad
I'm
to have you here.
extremely humbled and honored to be on your program. And I've heard a lot of wonderful things about you. So um, I extend my gratitude for inviting me.
Well, I appreciate
And to
that.
answer your question, I think it's a great question. And if I uh, may I present 10 verses showing differences to give examples?
Sure, I think that'd be wonderful.
It's like a little Bible study, but
Yeah, that's
uh,
fine.
here's a curated, how's that for a word?
Yeah.
A curated list of 10 clear side-by-side examples where the MEV deliberately diverges from the New King James Version, all while using the same TR textual base
Hmm.
and a formal equivalence philosophy.
Cool.
These will serve you well in interviews because they are concrete and easily quoted. Let's look at John 1:5, for example, the
Hmm.
first one. John 1:5, the New King James Version says, "And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it." The MEV says, "The light shines in the darkness." No, I'm sorry. The light shines in darkness. It excludes the word the darkness.
Uh-huh.
It just says the light shines in darkness, but the darkness has not overcome it instead of comprehend it.
Yeah.
The MEV corrects ambiguity, katalambano, which means overcome, sees, not mentally comprehend. So the New King James Version is using an antiquated word that does not convey, I mean, comprehend is a modern word, but not in
Hmm.
this verse. It's using an older term for um, for the Greek,
Huh.
whereas maybe in 1611 the word comprehend meant overcome or seize. Maybe it did. I don't know. I didn't live back then.
Hmm.
So it doesn't mean mentally comprehend, it means overcome or seize. So here's a very good difference where we chose accuracy, not let's ditto the KJV just because the KJV said it. And that's what I think the New King James Version did. And they do that quite a bit.
That's interesting. I'm looking at here my Olive Tree Bible app while you were talking, and they do have a footnote that says "or overcome" as well.
Right,
So I thought
right.
that's interesting there. Okay. Oh.
Sometimes they put the accurate term in the footnote instead of in the text.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Huh.
we noted so many times back between 2005 and 2011, we noted many times where the New King James Version is simply dittoing what the KJV did, and that's not what scholarship is all about.
Hmm. Very
Let's look
interesting.
at number 2, Matthew 6:9, the Lord's Prayer opening.
Hmm.
The New King James Version says, "Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name." MEV, "Our Father who is in heaven, hallowed be your name." The MEV restores the full force of the Greek relative clause, ha entois uranos. So we chose um, to do what we thought the Greek said to do. And I think that flows better than "Our Father in heaven" trying to be modern when it
Uh-huh.
doesn't flow as nicely as "Our Father who is in heaven." I think
Sure.
it's more, I think this is better for liturgical, ecclesiastical church prayer use, the way we did it. 1 Corinthians 13:1. The New King James Version says, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, and we have, if I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love. Okay, so they started with though, and we started with if I speak.
Uh-huh.
The MEV uses if, matching the Greek aeon, keeping the conditional sense precise. That's what we did. So I'll go on, but these illustrate how, in minute detail, our committee is trying to be accurate to the Greek in the most minute ways possible. And these are ways that we differ from the New King James Version. So Romans 8:16, it says, in the New King James Version, the Spirit himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of God. What does the 2024 say? Do you have that in front of you?
I don't have a copy of it yet. The 2014 says, the Spirit himself bears witness with our spirits that we are the children of God.
Okay, so here the MEV keeps plural spirits
Oh,
for
yes. Okay.
nuance.
Uh-huh.
Our individual human spirits, all of them, whereas the New King James Version is saying with our spirit. So spirits really is more technically correct, because when you have more than one people, you've got more than one spirit.
Yeah, very cool.
So there's a difference.
That's true.
Let's look at Galatians 6:1. The New King James Version says, restore such a one in a spirit of gentleness, considering yourself, lest you also be tempted. The MEV, why don't you read that?
Brothers, if a man is caught in any transgression, you who are spiritual should restore such a one in the spirit of meekness, watching yourselves, lest you also be tempted.
Restore such a one in the spirit of gentleness. And the MEV sharpens the spirit of gentleness and watching yourself. That's what I wanted to get to. Watching yourself, whereas the New King James Version says considering yourself. And I think watching yourself brings more clarity to what the Greek is saying. That's the point. Whether it says spirit of meekness or gentleness, the point is watching yourself as opposed to considering yourself, which is very vague from the New King James Version. So here's another difference between the two.
All right.
And now let's go to Revelation 22:17. It says in the New King James Version, and let him who thirsts come. Whoever desires, let him take the water of life freely. In the MEV that I have in front of me, let him who is thirsty come. Let him who desires take the water of life freely. So the MEV modernizes phrasing, avoids him who thirsts, which feels archaic.
Very
And
interesting.
James 1:17. The New King James Version says, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above. The MEV says, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above. Same wording, but the MEV maintains uniform rendering of gift across various contexts, other verses, whereas the New King James Version will sometimes diverge. But you only do that if the pool of words that the lexicon provides allows you to do that. Otherwise, it's better to maintain consistency.
Yeah.
All right.
Very neat. Very neat. Very neat. Well, these are some differences that we see between the KJV and the NKJV, not made for some copyright differences or to make it difficult, but just to try to be as faithful as you can be to what the text that you're translating from was. And I appreciate that kind of desire to translate the text in a way that best represents it.
Well, here's one more very good comparison, and that's 1 Corinthians 1:21. And I'll go into detail about this. It says in the New King James Version, "For since in the wisdom of God, the world through wisdom did not know God, it pleased God through the foolishness of the message preached to save those who believe."
Mm-hmm.
The MEV says what the KJV does. "For since in the wisdom of God, the world through its wisdom did not know God, it pleased God through the foolishness of preaching," not foolishness of the message, but the foolishness of preaching to save those who believe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the term diates morias to kerugmatas, through the foolishness of the preaching or proclamation. The New King James Version, through the foolishness of the message preached, it interprets kerugma as the content or the message. In the MEV, through the foolishness of preaching, it keeps kerugma in its natural verbal sense, the act of proclamation, the act.
Yes.
And so here the MEV is actually closer to the Greek, since kerugma is not message preached, but a proclamation, a heralding.
Hmm. And as we see
So,
there, yeah, every time the KJV used that, would translate that word, it was translated as preaching, all 8 times in the New Testament.
and so I think the way the New King James Version renders that is, I think it's embarrassing.
Hmm.
We're calling the message foolish. That's my how I feel about it. But
Hmm.
both translations use formal equivalents from the Textus Receptus. The difference is that the New King James Version modernized the KJV, but still retained some dated idioms and inconsistencies throughout a bunch of the different ones that I showed earlier. The MEV is more recent, more linguistically precise, and intentionally consistent across parallel texts and theological terms when possible.
Hmm. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, and so we can effectively say the MEV is not just a copy of the NKJV by no means.
Right.
There are some differences there, and helpful. Both of them are in your Bible study. So, all right. I hope you're enjoying the sermons here and have subscribed to my channel on YouTube. But I would love even more to meet with you in person at the church where I'm blessed to pastor at in White Pine, Tennessee, Omega Baptist Church.